we move it over.
Yeah.
Microphone checker.
All right.
Check. Man, my voice really just carries. That's what it must be to be such an amazing, dynamic individual.
Oh, yeah.
My voice resonates. Mm-hmm. I speak for a generation, which is just me, one person in that generation. I'm a unique being.
I mean, what happened to the rest of it?
They got sick of this crap and left a long time ago. Thanks for all the fish.
Okay.
I was left behind because,
Where's your towel, man? Where's your towel?
Wipe my ass with it.
Okay. And on that note.
It's the way to warn people about this planet.
Jesus.
Somewhere, it's weird too. Somewhere around, I don't know, maybe 2020, this planet just kind of started to spiral off its axis in a weird way. It's like Cthulhu woke up, opened one eye, looked at it, and said, I ain't messing with that, and rolled back over. And we're slowly trying to heal.
All righty then. I guess we're ready. All right.
Remember when you could walk up on a guy in the woods to start a fist fight? And it was it. There wasn't anything weird about it. You're like, hey, you're in a fight club. I want to fight you. I'm going to have a fist fight in the woods.
Welcome to Dicejunkies. I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q, dropping very covert references to games for those that pay attention.
Mm-hmm. And, let's get started.
Cancelable quotes and references. I can't be canceled unless you're a really good gamer. See, that's why I'm safe. I'm making obscure references.
Yeah. Oh.
You got to be deep into a certain game and be like, wait, I think he's talking about that one thing over here after this, at the end of this quest.
You just won't stop, will you? Microsoft CEO comments on... Microsoft CEO comments on future Xbox games using generative AI.
Did we do an intro?
Yes.
Okay. You just fade in. You're so you just don't pop. So it just like literally slid through.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put a little fire in it, man.
I can't help I'm smooth.
Oh, okay. Slide that intro in so smooth you don't even know you're already in love. You may not remember the intro, but you remember my name.
Oh, man. Microsoft, yeah. So, generative AI. I mean, dude, okay, so this is a controversial thing with a lot of creators and stuff like that.
Well, AI is a bad word, man.
Yeah.
AI is a real bad word these days. I mean, I got mixed feelings on it, but some people.
Well, I mean, of course, you had the voice actor strikes because of AI, and
I won't even lie, that one I didn't care as much about that.
But I'm going to be honest, dude. If you can utilize AI to cut the development time in half, if I can finally see the next few Elder Scrolls within my lifetime, I'm all for it using AI to generate things. I mean, we saw it.
It's so hit or miss, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, you still need a user there and a developer to smooth things out. But, I mean, AI can do a lot of the work for you, I mean,
it's like with the voice acting thing. I've never heard of AI that can match a good voice actor. You know what I mean? So, I hate to be, I make it Jehovah's, but like, if you can be replaced with an AI as a voice actor, you might need to up your voice acting game because AIs don't emote well. They don't.
I don't know, dude. Some of the new deep fake type stuff. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be. The thing is you can have one person do all,
and then alter
somebody who emotes do all the voice, but have AI generate different tones and I
just don't think it's going to meet the quality level of having a bunch of talented AI actors. I believe it's one of those things that it's like, will it cut the wheat from the chaff? Yeah. Will you be able to really replace James Earl Jones? I know he's passed, but I'm saying I just don't believe they'll ever be able to do that.
I don't think you'll ever replace the star power that comes in when you have a guest voice actor. When you have.
Do you think somebody can pull off a Samuel L. Jackson rendition and get the MF right?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you replace those really unique voices, like that. I think you do replace a lot of the generic, hundreds of civilian characters and stuff like that can easily be done by.
Yeah, that's fine for AI to do. Random shopkeeper doesn't need a voice actor. But honestly, I played Skyrim recently. Let me tell you why.
Patrick Stewart as the king is still gonna,
But as I was gonna say, I played Elder Scrolls recently, and it's amazing how, as gamers, you block this out. When I went back and I started realizing how few different voices there were, it was really grating. And it was for a lot of minor roles where I'm like, random guy I walk by in the street can be an AI-generated voice so he doesn't sound like Belfour or whatever.
Yes.
The main guy I talk to a lot.
Yes.
When I go to talk to the Jarl of Whiterun, I shouldn't hear his voice anyone else. That's a major character, and it's a part of the main story you talk to. I shouldn't hear that voice coming out of a random dude walking at a smithy. Yeah, AI generated to give me some random voices. I don't believe it's going to replace star power or the main role. I don't think an AI is ever going to voice Goku or Vegeta or Gohan. But I do believe it can voice, a bunch of people running around in the background or random villain number 4.
Yeah.
Now, it does take money out of voice actors, so I understand protecting your job. I'm just saying, I can't say it's wrong. I can say it's not good, that I can understand why they have a problem with it. I get it. I get them going.
Yeah, but we're also old enough to remember 10, 20 years ago when you just had to read the game.
Yeah. It does. It takes exceptional.
Still, some games today don't have full voice acting.
And that's, I guess, the other reason. It's got to be really exceptional voice acting for me to care in the first place. So I have a hard time worrying about the mid-tier or the low tier. That is true. Like when I'm the dude, we know we have backed off of the con circuit a bit. When we used to go to cons, we were looking at who we wanted to talk to. You would see a lot of stuff on there and not care about that role he played, but there'd be that one that they really nailed. That you're like, I want to see him because of 1 out of 20 characters he played. Where here he did a good job.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't know he was these other 20 people. Dude, how often that was recent? I'm not going to name names, but we were looking at a list and I said, I see like 8 characters on here that I did not know it was this guy. And I don't mean it because I just didn't know it was him. I mean, it's like those characters did not stand out and their voice actor was not anybody I even cared who it was. And then it's like, you see that one character, like, see, that's the role.
Well, dude, we also don't really listen to anything dubbed unless somebody tells us, oh, the dubbed version is amazing, and then
that doesn't help that we tend to do not a lot with anime, but I've been talking about video games and stuff, man. Like the voice actor of Kratos.
Well, the cons around here don't grab any of the video game voice actors, really.
I know. Unfortunately, which is a shame because more people probably were paying attention to the voices. Let's be real. With games tending to be 50-plus hours, you spend more time with the voice actors in video games half the time.
You don't generally play a game subbed. There's only some really deep purists that play video game subbed.
Like the reason everybody was upset about, because it's been long enough, this is not a point, Last of Us 2, when they killed Joel, is you spent a lot of time with Joel. And his voice is very distinct. I can recognize if I'm walking through a room and Joel's voice actor starts talking, I'm going to recognize he's the voice actor of Joel. It's a character you spent that much time with him in your ear and went through a lot with. Versus, like I said, those short interactions where I don't care who voiced that character. In fact, people know who voiced Ellie. People know who voiced Joel. I don't know who voiced anyone else in that game at all. I don't even know who voiced Abby. It's like, don't care. Do not care. So it could have all been AI generated. It's like I'm sorry, we got off topic, but yeah, like AI in other scenarios. Well, it's still on topic about AI, but
no, it is. I just want to point out, like, I remember, when we played Outriders. Outriders wasn't that great of a game. But, there was a couple of characters that were well voiced in there, like Matthew Cabwe.
Oh, yeah.
He did a really good voice. You know, and we actually thought about, we were trying to get an interview with him because he did a good voice. Not a lot of good voices in that game. Maybe that's why he stood out.
Let's just say that they could have AI'd everybody else.
Yeah. And I want to see, and honestly, I think that's the thing. Exceptional voice actors, I think, will always have a job. Whether it be in video games, anime, or,
Trying to get the name of
animation or whatever. I think good voice actors will still have a job even with AI. But for all those hundreds of different voices or characters and filling out a full map, I mean, to make a game feel more filled and alive using AI, I think there is perfectly fine. And would not mind seeing it, as well as hopefully, we shorten the amount of time that it takes to complete some of these games. Because I mean, they were talking about that in another article I read about, AAA games taking 6 to 10 years to create now.
I know.
We've got it, and if it's going to take 6 to 10 years, if we can utilize AI to speed that up without compromising too much on the quality, then, well, if you can cut that by 2 years, that's 2 years of pay as well that you didn't have to use in the budget. So the prices of games don't necessarily go up as quick like they are.
There's a lot of rote generation that AI could definitely speed up, like you said, to where you don't need a person can just quality check it. Mm-hmm. But like an example is by far my favorite voice actors probably out there, and I'm bad. Oh God, I'm bad with names. But Lizzie Carmine, as you know, is my favorite Gears of War 5 character. Buy it. And Sarah Emily, who we got the great honor of interviewing. I'll never be able to thank Bloodaxe enough for getting a chance to talk with her. Favorite voice actress in the world. One of my favorite interviews I've ever had. She's up there with Tuvok's actor. Just amazing interview. And I just never would believe an AI can replace her at all. I just don't think it. So I guess I'm a little bit of an elitist. That the reason I'm not as concerned about the AI voice acting is I don't think it'll replace anybody I like.
Well, yeah. And like I said, I think star power still has a place. I mean, like I said, anytime I was playing an RPG back in the day, and because Patrick Stewart would come up in several of RPGs, same thing with James Earl Jones would come up in the. It was always awesome. It always
Cisco's actor did a lot of voices.
Always gave me that little fuzzy feeling. I'm like, oh, that's
James. Yep. Oh man. And then let me see, the actor for James Sisko.
But
I've never been good with actors' names, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Mark Alfvin Andrew is No, that's not. That they went to the Cisco. No, that's Cisco the singer. No.
Yeah, you are. I don't know why you're going down this rabbit hole anyway.
Oh, okay. But yeah.
Just yeah.
Because he just has an amazing voice.
I know. You're trying to do some shout outs here, but.
Well, because these are people I don't think. But on this, as far as generating stuff for games, I get it. I've seen some bad AI generated art for games. I've seen some bad set pieces.
Well,
it needs polish.
Yeah.
But. That's it. It just needs some polish.
I mean, art you definitely got to be careful with because AI-generated art tends to grab other people's art and utilizes it.
Merge it. And it also does a lot of Uncanny Valley.
Now, I mean, we saw AI-generated stuff in Power World. Power World had a lot of AI generation. So, I mean, for indie game groups to pull stuff out, it works really well. He was able to do a game in a very relatively short time that was interesting.
Yeah, you know what? To me, I don't know why people are freaking out to say this, because here's the single thing. Also, you're forgetting a very important element, both with the voice acting and everything else, which is this is a product that has to be at a quality level that it sells. If it doesn't work, it's just not going to work. If the AI doesn't do a good job, it's not going to sell.
I mean, AI voices already do a good job. I've heard quality AI voices. I've seen the systems. They're not that expensive to do. It's relatively simple to do AI voices now. And I'll be honest, dude. I mean, why do you think voice actors strike? They did the strike because the system works. As more AI works, you'll see other departments start striking because they're going to go, oh, you're going to take our jobs with the AI. And you know what? At this point, it's sort of got to happen, man. We got too much overhead on things.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to lose my job to AI.
I don't want to lose my job to AI either.
Let me finish. But at the same time, if I up my game enough, I don't think I'll lose my job. Maybe people have gotten fat and lazy and used to being able to half do it. Because let's be real, we've seen a bunch of poor quality games that weren't made with AI. If I'm being honest, Concord should have never existed.
You just got to accept the jank.
And not for the reason you say. The game just didn't look good. It wasn't amazing. Yes. It didn't pop. I'm tired of every time I look through Game Pass, I see a bunch of half-assed looking games. Maybe you need to set a bar and go, AI can handle an 8 or lower, up your game to 9, sucker. Because we can do 8 for cheap, and we're not going to pay you for 8, 7, and 6. When we get to the topic about a certain game later and how the characters look like Concord characters and stuff, I'm going to point that out. We got an AI quality game for $100 for early access out of a company that should know better. I would be fine with that company losing a bunch of its jobs to AI. Because if they're going to crank out that kind of slop, the game, as our boy Zeno said in a special video we made, should have only been $30 or $40. And guess what? If it was made with AI, probably would have been $30 or $40. It would have been cheaper.
I don't know if we're going to cut prices like that, but I will say where we will see prices, low prices, is at the ID and Xbox showcase that I'm looking forward to. So indie games, man. Indie games are already using AI.
Look at your face. You thought I was going to say it, didn't you?
No. I thought about it, though.
He looked at me. There's something I said earlier. He was horrified I was going to say it on air.
I didn't think you were going to say it on air. it came back to me when I...
Well, I saw your face and did. You looked and was like...
But, yeah. So, February 24th, I think that's, what, tomorrow? Or
No, it ain't tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
What, today's the 23rd?
Yes.
Man, I literally crapped the whole day away. Man. Watch what you eat out there, people. You can get a stomach.
So yeah, no, I'm actually interested in this. See what indie games developers
fresh
show
new
up.
Games come out of the indie market that even if they're not something I want to play, they add to the pop culture, like Little Nightmares and stuff like that. I wouldn't play Little Nightmares. A little side scroller game isn't my thing, but I follow it and know its lore and have done deep lore dives, watched all the side games because it's an incredible game. So indie tends to give us a lot of great things.
You recognize any of these? I think I've heard of Team 17.
Team 17 seems familiar.
And,
Daedalic seems familiar.
No More Robots, I think I've seen.
Yeah, I've heard the robots, but I don't remember what they did.
Yeah.
Like, off the top of my head, dude, I mean, like I said, I'm coming off a stomach virus. Brain's not on its top, but here's the thing. I'm looking forward to see if we get something new. The only reason I'm even slightly nervous is that it's Xbox. And, don't worry, I'm not going to say it. The Xbox selection has been poor for what they choose to pull from indie. Like, when I look, now sometimes they'll get a nice game like Little Nightmares will pop up, but they seem to scroll through the lowest rated, worst performing indie games they can find, man. I've quite literally looked on Game Pass and seen a game that I saw on the worst indie game list recently, and it's like, it's on Game Pass. And I'm just like, who's making these selections?
Well, and like I said, we'll check this out tomorrow, see how it is. And, I mean, if it's good enough, we might do another midweek video or...
It's tomorrow, yeah.
Otherwise, you'll hear us talk about it next Sunday.
We'll try to. Unless it's just really boring. We might as well pop one off. I mean, but to go back into how bad Game Pass picks its games to add, I wouldn't be surprised if Concord popped up on Game Pass somehow, because they seem to go through a list of the worst games they can find, and then every now and then a good one. But it's like slop.
Well, Microsoft is reportedly happy with Avowed sales so far. So,
well, based on the way they're picking their games, they seem to be aiming for the most mediocre results they can get.
Oh man, I can't see how they're happy with this. I mean, looking at the concurrent Steam,
which is one of the places where people would actually have to have bought the game and not spent money.
It doesn't look like it's going to make it to 20. It's on its downward. It's on its downward path now for Sunday. We know that the first.
Oh wow! Whoa, that is way lower than it was an hour ago.
Yeah,
no,
we know that
guys,
the first Sunday is always the highest. Usually.
Well, no, let's bring it up. Like that was like 1986. That wasn't even an hour ago. That was like 30 minutes.
Well, yeah.
So I don't think it's going to hit 20. We thought maybe.
No, like I said, it's on its downward swing now.
Yeah, because here's the thing, though. What we discovered when we went through to check other games is that the first Sunday is usually the biggest.
And by the way, it's down to 18,259 now.
The first Sunday is usually, if you go check, you can see yourself Steam charts. We actually tracked it and found that the first Sunday is usually the biggest day for the game across its whole history. Barring some DLC, its highest all-time number is usually the first Sunday. The end of the first weekend, it peaks. So when we saw the numbers and it was slightly going down, we were like, well, maybe it'll spike in the evening and they'll finally hit 20. But they're moving down to over almost 1,000 down. It looks like it's going onto a big dip. So they're not even going to break 20. But here's the reason why we make so much deal out of Steam, even though it's on Game Pass. And is it on PlayStation? Check for me. And possibly on PlayStation. The thing is, it's an Xbox game. As an Xbox game, with the console wars, it's not going to do too great on PlayStation because there's a lot of haters. There's a lot of fanboys that are not going to buy it because it's made by Xbox. Most people on Xbox...
Did not release on PlayStation.
Oh, they're screwed. Oh, wow. They don't even have PlayStation numbers. So, yeah, they're dead. Because here's the thing. Most people are not going to buy it on Xbox when you can get it on Game Pass. Like, you can get Game Pass for a month or two and play the whole game. Sadly, it's so short, you can get Game Pass for 1 month and then have to find something else to do for the second half of that month.
Well, dude, I mean, I'll be honest. If it sells Game Pass, then I think Microsoft would be happy. I don't think this game is selling Game Pass. Oh, it's not going to
sell Game Pass either. I agree. But if you have Game Pass, I believe Game Pass sales have peaked. I think those people that have it, have it. And if they bought it for Stalker 2 or Call of Duty. They're not buying it for Avowed. Combine that with the fact that the one place where people had to buy the game, it really is looking like they didn't even get 100,000 copies out of the door. They might have, but that's a push. Compare that to these games hitting, 500, Kingdom Come Deliverance. When did it hit? 2 million already?
Kingdom Come Deliverance hit 2 million like a week ago. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so there you go. This game is a failure. Now, Obsidian's whole cope is saying, well, we were just looking for a moderate success. It isn't a moderate success. I don't think the game is a success. I think the game is a break-even. And then found out the game had 6 years of development with 2 restarts on the development, which means this was not a cheap game. 6 years of development with 2 remakes, because guess what? It was supposed to be a multiplayer game. And honestly, the way it plays, I can see that. It's modeled like a multiplayer. A lot of the things I hate about this game, except the respawn, that's still stupid. That wouldn't work in a multiplayer game. But like a lot of the things in this game make sense for a multiplayer game. Because in a multiplayer game, isn't about immersion. It's about running around with your friends fighting monsters.
So here's the fun thing. So yeah, like Kingdom Come Deliverance between Saturday and Sunday had an 8,000 plus jump. Where Avowed between Saturday and Sunday had a less than 1,000 jump.
So
500.
If this was a cheap indie game, these still aren't good. No, I can't even say that. Those are bad numbers even for an indie game. They really are. These are not numbers for a AAA game. No. For a AA game. No. For an indie game. No, not really. Because it's a 6-year development game. It didn't cost like an indie game.
I mean, the game has been in development for a while. Supposedly, over 2 runs. I can only imagine what the actual cost for this game is. I don't think they're making money. I can't see how they're happy with this.
This has to be operating in a loss. I agree. I am hard pressed to believe this is not operating at a loss. And there's no way Microsoft is okay with a loss. And what they're doing is because the reason they're saying they're happy with it is because it affects stock. We know why. It directly affects stock. Like your stock goes down the second you acknowledge that something didn't do well. So it's the whole Microsoft is going to be like, oh no, everything's fine. We know this because Sony's been lying to its guys for a while, its investors. And gosh, do a bunch of other companies do that too, where they're doing awful, and they're literally just lying. They're lying their butts off to their, wow. Okay, to give an example, Little Nightmares. It's a little itty-bitty indie game. Side-scroller, really short. All-time peak was 77,000. So no, this game doesn't even have good numbers by indie standards. It is a failure, man. It's a failure. And the only reason we're saying this again, you think, I know it looks like we keep picking on them. No, they're putting out these articles. The Gamer and other venues are saying the game was a success. It's not. It's not a success. It's failing so bad, I might give it a spin now. I didn't want to give them any play, but I am curious how bad it is. But now I know I can't affect it. It's now doing so bad. I said I was waiting for that. I was waiting for them to hit their peak, so that at least I don't contribute to them saying it's succeeding.
I mean, you already have Game Pass. You're not adding a Game Pass subscription to play.
I'm just adding a player head count.
Yeah, and that's where the metric for Game Pass is going to come in on whether or not it's profitable for Game Pass. Profitable Game Pass are looking for people who are signing up to Game Pass and then installing that game, not people who have already had Game Pass for a long time. Yeah. Because to them, if you've already had Game Pass for a long time and you're just playing a game, you're not really adding value.
Yeah, they're not getting any money out of me. They're not getting money out of me. And considering that most of my Game Pass hours are my kids playing Madden, like the stuff I play probably doesn't even contribute to the main metric of my account. It's going to be Apex Legends and Madden that has the highest hours played.
Now, speaking of adding value, I do hear that robbing graves is a very valuable experience.
Well, if you want to get the new cosmetics, yes.
Japanese officials taking appropriate action after viral Assassin's Creed Shadow video shows destruction of their shrine. If they had asked us, we would have refused. But then additionally, there's been recent footage of grave robbing from the emperor's tombs, because Japanese are really chill about grave robbing and robbing their ancestors and their emperors. Graves. That's well known. Yeah, and here's my thing on this. Like this, I play many games where I steal, I rob, and I don't find it to be that big of a deal. But the fact that they keep claiming to want to pull Japanese culture and respect their history, and this is historical and this is this. I mean, I don't see them getting anything right with this game, and it just seems like every time they try to fix something, they announce something else that is even worse, or
I'm still messed up by the implication that you're stealing the clothes off of the dead emperors because you're getting cosmetics when you go in there. It just keeps giving me the idea that you're literally taking that stuff off. You're not
necessarily. I mean, usually a lot of tombs, they include a lot of possessions, in chests and stuff like that. So,
well, like example I was saying is in Skyrim, you go down into a lot of burial mounds.
Yeah.
The difference, though, is that these aren't historical sites. It's a fantasy setting. While it resembles some things in, say Scotland or a few other places, it's not accurate like real locations. You're not robbing. I would be disturbed if I played a game that was set in Jackson, Mississippi, or Tyler, Texas, or Austin, Texas, or New York City, or Atlanta, Georgia, and you could wander through a location and rob a grave or shoot up a school that you've physically seen yourself. You know what I mean? It's like all those different locations.
Go behind the Jackson jail.
You know, yeah, you know, there's a lot of dark stories about down there in Jackson. And it's like, you know, because I'm just thinking of different places I've been through in my life and thinking like, yeah, it would be messed up to rob like the little graveyard outside of the Texas school I went to. Like, you know, I'd be like, that gets a little personal. Like,
but it's also a video game, you know, so it's
when you're using real locations.
I know.
I don't even think you even rob a grave. Well, that probably is a mission, but I don't even think I've never robbed a grave, even in Grand Theft Auto, one of the most offensive kind of cross the line
Grand
games.
Theft Auto, I will say most modern games you don't see grave robbing, but it does seem like historical games and fantasy games,
set in
and things in more
locations.
Medieval seem to have grave robbing Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah, it's quite beneficial to rob graves there. But even then, though, those are locations, like, even when you rob a grave, though, you're not robbing the grave of a historical figure. It's random graves.
Yeah.
You're not robbing the emperor. Like we're not robbing, like, the Lincoln Memorial or, like, going and digging up George Washington
I agree.
Martin Luther King. You know, we're not digging up,
I'm not defending what they've done, but I'm also saying it is a game.
It is a common element of Assassin's Creed that you go into tombs. But, and you know what? You know what is the best way to, like I said it before, at any other time, because in Assassin's Creed Origins, you robbed ziggurats and pyramids. Yes. You went into them. Now, you usually were going in, doing a puzzle, and finding the assassin's stash. You weren't really robbing the tomb. You usually was like, there was a secret, like your guild put some kind of obstacle course, and then you got rewarded. But, it's just that they're saying right here with the shrines, because the shrines are religious sites. And I would put Japanese Shinto shrines and the like up there with a mosque for how they take that pretty serious. And if you wanted to go and have a game set in one of those countries of that religion and burn down mosques, they're going to tell you hell no. I believe them when they say they would have said, we don't want your game to be destroying shrines. I believe that. I do believe that they would definitely go, no, don't do that. Don't kill priests. It would be like a game that lets you burn down a church and shoot the preachers in it, and that would be a effed up game. Might exist, but it would be considered a really effed up game. I don't think the Japanese people are making a big deal out of a small problem. This is taboo. You're doing taboo stuff while claiming you're not being taboo. Either lean into it and just say you're making postal. We've got games, Grand Theft Auto. You can shoot a woman and take your money back. They're messed up games. Just call it. Just go, this is Grand Theft Assassin's Creed. Burn Japan. This is what the game is. It's terrible. We know. It's Postal. It's Postal 2. That's what we're making. Or fix it. But you need to make a decision. You cannot ride the fence. You are either an effed up game with no respect for anything, or you're trying to be historically accurate and respectful. Stop claiming one and doing the other. Because think about it. A lot of this stuff feels Grand Theft Auto crazy. The best stuff you could do.
I think that's the best thing Assassin's Creed could do is just try to separate themselves from reality, man, and just make fun games. Iso beat up the Pope in what, Assassin's Creed 2? Or one of the Assassin's Creeds.
Well, that was a Pope they put in. I don't think it was a historical Pope. I think they introduced their own Pope.
Yeah, but it was a Pope.
I'm not a big fan.
It's still, it shows the history of the game. The game has not taken religious symbols very strongly,
lean into it. Either just go, yeah, dude, we're just being assholes and just roll with it. Just go rampage through Japan, murder and kill and loot like you want, call it a day.
Yeah. Like I said, the only reason I really have an issue with this is because of their stance of trying to, work with Japan.
And be historically accurate and honor the cult. No, you're not, dude. You're just being a dick. Like, to me, the game developers of Assassin's Creed Shadows Point are just actively being a-holes. You can't accidentally think that tomb robbing the emperors is a good idea. That is a very intentional action. No, seriously. It's serious. I think that is very much on purpose. I do not believe that's an accident. I believe that's an intentional choice. You said, hey man, want to see something?
I'll be honest, dude,
something
at
effed
this
up?
point, Ubisoft just needs to release this game and get this done with, or either not release.
Yeah,
the
just
game.
pull an Obsidian. Just put it out and say, yeah, it's gonna fail. That's what Obsidian did. We covered that. They just went, yeah, it's not gonna be a success.
Deal with the jank.
Yeah, deal with the jank. What kind of jank? Game breaking.
Oh,
that's not jank, by the way. That's called a massive glitch and issue. Jank is, ha ha ha, look, that character T-posed for a while, but now I can complete the quest. Game deletes my save or corrupts my save, I can't play. It's not jank.
Yeah, I dealt with the jank on Cyberpunk.
Jank, I T-pose naked on my motorcycle while I ride around. Now that's jank.
Made me play a female character in the game because I didn't want to see a male dude T-posing butt naked on a motorcycle. I was like, I guess I'm female.
It was annoying. That's like, but I gotta watch the traffic so I don't wreck. What do I do? Why am I naked? Or worse, sometimes just bottomless. Yeah, it's just the pants are gone.
Pants on. Yeah. Oh.
But I didn't get off the motorcycle and complete my quest. And my pants were back when I got off the motorcycle.
Well, you'd go back into first person, so.
Yeah. So I wouldn't know. Maybe I was still naked. When I went to the pause screen, I had pants on, okay? Yeah. I was where it mattered, where I had to look at it. But I never had it like, saves gone. Because I'm like you. I've got games I quit and never went back to play because I got my save burnt. And I went, I'm out. I'm out.
I just went female V, had the better love story with the hot goth chick.
I know, man. I didn't have a lot of good choices as a straight guy in that game. And I'm like, hey, you've got to smell terrible. You live out here in the desert and there doesn't seem to be a lot of water. I gotta date the stinky chick out in the desert, man. I'm sorry, but I was immersed. I showered regularly in that game. I don't remember there being a lot of shower options when you were outside the city, okay? And that kind of got in my head, but I'm like, where do you bathe around here? Oh, God, you don't bathe. Oh.
Alrighty.
Let me turn off my nose. This is what's great about cyberware. Beep. There we go.
Let's see. Some good news. Kudos to Solo Leveling. Crunchyroll finally announced that it was the most watched anime of 2024.
Get Jarek's butt back over here. We can continue watching it.
Yeah, will probably be the most watched anime of 2025 as well for the second season.
Probably.
Looking forward to finishing the second season. Really great anime. If you haven't checked it out, check out Solo Leveling.
Quality fight scenes, man. They're somehow pacing. It's also the pacing, though. They're doing a good pacing. Like the first season, even though it was so beautiful, it worked. There were a couple of slower episodes. This time, they seem to know how to keep you rolling. They really do. I've only seen a couple of the episodes, but so far, every episode has been vested, and that's a really good thing to see.
Next up, so let's see. Doctor Who Season 2 got a release date at the same time as that rumors of everybody quitting. So.
The Kui Gatwa quitting and Russell T. Davis, rumors. Yeah. There's a lot of people believing that his run is already over. And it is, now this ain't a rumor, it is it has finally hit the worst numbers of the entire history of Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah, and a lot of people said that's
the actual worst.
Yeah, a lot of the rumors speculated that was why.
Well, who wants to be known in history as the actual, numerically proven worst Doctor? To give an example, when he was looking this up, I saw Jodie Whittaker. I remember when seeing Jodie Whittaker annoyed me. I remember when I was like, man, messing up Doctor Who. I saw Jodie Whittaker, and I felt nostalgic. I'm not even kidding. I was like, man, remember when we thought that was the worst Doctor Who? It turns out it was just boring. It wasn't bad. Now, I'll admit, I'm more vested in this. Cootie's a black guy. I am probably taking it a bit more personal. I wasn't embarrassed by anything Jodie Whittaker did. I wasn't like, oh, that's our doctor. Oh. So yes, I'll admit, I take it a little more personally that the worst doctor is the black doctor. So I blame the Cootie. I'm mad at him. He ruined it. You dropped the ball, man.
You can't really blame him.
You're right.
Russell
T. Davis.
He's an actor, man. Yeah, Russell T. Davis is
But you know what? I've seen a good
controlling
actor make a role work with charisma and screen presence, though. But you're all right. Russell T. Davis did a horrible job writing for it as well. But it's not fair to blame the Cootie, because you know what? From what I saw from his other roles, he did what he does. They hired him because he's who he is.
Yeah.
I'll take that back to Cootie. You know what? The only thing I'll blame you for is you shouldn't have let that white man make a fool out of you, because he was not writing well for you. You've done better roles. Well, no, he has. I've seen a little bit of his other stuff. Sex Ed. He's does pretty decent when he's got good writing. He's not a terrible actor.
I will say, I mean, where Sex Ed is not really my type of show. I have seen a little bit of it, and because when he was going to get into Doctor Who, and his ability of acting was really good. He was a really good
funny,
actor.
The charming, did the emotional stuff. But here, Russell just has him crying all the damn time for no reason on a character that doesn't cry. And it's like, he probably should have did a little homework to know the character.
Once again, I
know that this is weird.
I just go back. I go back to
Gino Ortega.
Huh?
Gino Ortega. Because I just thought about it. Gino Ortega, when they wrote stuff for Wednesday, she thought didn't work. She told them, no, this is not the character. Knowing your character is on you a little bit, though. You should do a little homework and be familiar enough to go, hey, Russ, this feels a little out of character. Just saying, like, from what I'm seeing, I'm going to be the first doctor doing a lot of weird stuff. I'm already the first gay doctor. Why do I have to be the first crybaby doctor?
But no, dude, I mean, I go all the way back to Peter Capaldi, dude, because Peter Capaldi was, once again, another actor
I was very optimistic
who was a fantastic actor. Same thing. I went and watched a lot of his stuff before he got the role as Doctor Who, and I had this awesome image in my head of what kind of doctor he was going to be, and they dropped the ball on him. Dude,
that first scene where he goes, I don't think I hug. Like, that was old school Doctor.
He had some good episodes, don't get me wrong. But to me, that was really the downfall of Doctor Who's writing, was with him. Honestly, I saw it a little bit in the Matt Smith, but, people get mad at me if I talk bad about Matt Smith.
Well, yes. Jarek gets mad at you, I think. I think that's his boy.
But yeah, no. I mean, we've seen that Doctor Who's writing was going in a direction that I think the original fans of Doctor Who, most of them, I'm not going to say all of them, wasn't happy with. Didn't think was along with the show.
Well, look what they did with David Tennant. David Tennant, long believed to be the best Doctor, but when he came back under Rusty Davis for those specials, oh my God, dude, that's the worst I've ever seen out of him. Like, and I was a big fan after the Jessica Jones series. I was like, wow, he's got range. He's pretty cool. Then, like, the specials showed up when they brought him back, and he was awful. Awful.
I will say he wasn't as good as he was, but I do agree that this is one of those instances where I think a good actor did bring. It was bearable, which Doctor Who to me wasn't bearable. The writing was not bearable for a long time before.
Well, he's a good actor.
And so when he came in, it was still bad writing, but it was bearable with him because he is a good actor. But
to me, it's the worst of the David Tennant I've seen.
Well, yeah.
It's obviously like his worst.
I mean, dude, the next episode of Doctor Who is going to be the worst episode I've ever seen, and then the next one will probably be the worst episode because it's going on a downward projectile, man. I mean,
the numbers, man. Yeah. Like, I did not know that they ended up finalizing as the worst of the entire history. That's pretty bad.
Now, talking about things that could be pretty bad, a lot of people are
will be pretty bad.
I'm not gonna say will, dude. I think it could possibly.
Rings of Power.
Dude, I get you.
Rings of Power.
I get you. But they've also done some good stuff.
Halo.
Halo wasn't them. Halo was.
You're right. I thought in my mind Halo was a little too good to be them. Oh. It makes sense. What was the other one they screwed up? I don't know. It's hard because Rings of Power is a big monolith of stuff.
I get that. So the Bond franchise sale to Amazon MGM is probably bad news, says IGN. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's going to be bad news.
Well, there's one good news that somebody brought up. I got to give this one to Dr. Disaster or whichever one of them, or is it a Doomcock? Somebody's talking about this. Is that in the last movie they killed Bond, and I mean like very much killed Bond. So they bought the Bond series. James Bond is dead. So what the hell are they even going to do?
You know,
no, they really that last movie he's dead. Like they went into the like. This was a big
but it's just a Bond series, dude. They've had so many different Bonds.
I'm hoping that he's dead and he stays dead. Like, I never thought I'd be happy they killed off Bond, but I don't want Amazon doing whatever they're going to do to Bond.
I mean, they just get a new 007, dude. I mean,
I wonder what they are going to be like.
Reacher, really good series from Amazon. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, I was about to really get in trouble with that statement. All right, then. I'm not going to tell you. I know some people that really like that show. They think it's really fun. They really like it. They're like, that's some man candy there.
Oh.
His fan base is very specific. And in the new season, they got another really big guy on there. They were like, now it's two of them. That's how I found out about this show, dude. I found out about it from some friends who were like,
I watched the first season. The first season was really good.
He's a lot of eye candy, yeah.
I guess he is. I mean, he's a big dude. But
that's what I heard, man.
It was a well-written show.
I was like, okay. Hey, you know what? Like I said, something for everybody, baby. Y'all love it. Have fun. You know, I mean, I hear he kicks a lot of ass. You know what I'm saying, too? Like, he just muscles around and muscles his way through all his problems, and it is being loved. But Invincible is Amazon. Huh. I guess it's not all terrible, because I'm on Amazon series right now, too. I see you pulled up something like,
well, no, I mean, this is just from that article, but...
It's possible, but, oh, God, yeah. It's possible.
They've done some horrible things, yes. Who'd you pick as the next Bond? They have Henry Cavill, Tom Hardy, James McAvoy, Idris Elba. Now, Idris Elba as a Bond, I think would be cool. And Henry Cavill, I think, could pull off a Bond.
The YouTubers I were following talking about it were saying it'll probably be Dylan Mulvaney.
That would be. You are wrong for that. You are wrong for that.
I like the way your mind had clearly corrected it to something else because you're like, yeah, wait, whoa, as your mind went, Budweiser. Oh, guys, y'all saw that, man. You can't script that. That's freaking amazing. That moment where, who did you hear, by the way? Because you, at first, clearly heard something else.
Well, I just didn't.
Because I saw the moment where you put the name together. I think you heard Dylan, and I don't know, some other actor, and then your mind said, wait, Mulvaney? That guy that ruined Budweiser Light and put their company out.
But yeah, I don't see Tim Hardy. Definitely don't see Tom Hardy. I mean, I don't see James McAvoy.
I could get into it, Henry Cavill.
But I could see Henry Cavill.
And Idris Elba?
Idris Elba, I will take Idris Elba in anything, dude. He's a really good actor.
We could have had him as the Doctor.
He would have been such a great Doctor.
He would have blew that out of the water.
Yeah.
He would have had the opposite effect as Reacher. He would have brought in a different fan base, and they would have been loving it. You'd have had your largest audience. Actually, might have brought in some of the Reacher audience, too. So, yeah, you would have had a large audience for Idris Elba. Because despite what you think, I'm going to say it, despite what you think, from individuals I know of a certain persuasion, the Cootie's not their cup of tea. Idris Elba is their cup of tea. Just being real, most of the people I know would have rather seen Idris Elba on the screen. He's a big, good-looking black guy, deep voice, amazing actor. Yeah, I think he would have brought in even more crowd. Little short, gay black guy, not as big. You don't even know the audience. Like, it's like I told you, they don't even know their own audience.
Well, yeah.
Because what did I just say? All right, you get what I'm saying. Let's be real. You get what I was saying. Reacher has a very, strong gay audience, fans of it. Reacher, the really big dude. I didn't even know that show existed. When I heard about it, everybody there was just like, oh, Reacher. I'm like, okay. Nobody's ever said, oh, Nakuti.
That's also what the women on the show tend to do when he walks in. Like,
yes, also the women who are interested in it. But I've never had oh, Nakuti. I'm just being real. I never had oh, Nakuti. So, they don't even know.
Well, dude, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the most of the gay community that I know find the same male features attractive that
most straight women do.
You know, you have, it's just like with men. There is that Barbie, version. There's that Ken
that
version.
Feminine, that feminine appeal look that generally across audiences. It's the reason why a woman that's very beautiful is usually considered beautiful.
Barbie and Ken are supposed to be the
not saying that. I get what you're saying, though. Yeah. But, what's attractive tends to be attractive across the fence. I'm not saying that Cootie's an unattractive person doesn't have his fan base, but I'm saying it's a specific one. He's not as generally appealing as Idris Elba is. Yeah. Idris Elba is just a good-looking guy, period. And that appeals to more people across the board.
Idris Elba has a voice that...
He's masculine.
Has, attracts... the current ideal man that you see mostly is that lumberjack. It's
Reacher.
And this is we go through phases of what the Ken is of our time period.
It's usually what's lacking the most in the community. The hardest to find, and masculine men are hard to find these days.
But anyway, that's so far off of geek culture. As far as the Bond franchise goes with Amazon, dude, I honestly. Don't care. I haven't enjoyed the last couple Bonds anyway. So at this point, putting it in somebody else's hands.
I mean, I would like to see a new Bond. I would not mind a Black Bond or something if it's a good actor, but I want it to be because he's also really good.
Well,
like I said, like an Idris Elba.
Yeah,
I don't want
gotta
you to just
have
pick a random
somebody who can pull off the smooth.
I don't want another dork. Okay. I'm tired of when they make a character black, they make it a dork. It's like, can we get a brother that we respect?
Well, dude, I mean, we've talked about this before, where it's imagined that 007 is a moniker for basically the agent who is supposed to be the smooth, basically the female bait.
Yeah. Also, I believe that even the name, I don't believe anybody that's played 007, whether their birth name was James Bond. I think that was the spy code.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just...
I believe 007 Bond is a moniker.
Yeah.
True. But that role is suave.
And if you want to do a female, you want to do something more flamboyant. Yeah, you come up with different numbers because that's a role.
That's a role.
That's this is your position.
And it makes sense.
We find somebody with these characteristics.
And you have a mission and you go, all right, we're going to need this type of person. You should be able to say, sit in 007 and you get a rough idea of who's going to walk through the door.
Yeah.
If you go, all right, looks like this is going to be a casino, a bunch of old money.
And honestly, I would love to see him.
We considered a suave guy. Go to send in a suave guy. You don't want to go send in 007 and then Nakuti walks in.
Yeah.
That ain't going to work.
I would love to see him play with that more. I think that would be something cool to see.
I'd love to see the other numbers. Now, if they take this series and they start going 006, 009, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Because, for example, you don't send James Bond in to infiltrate Thailand.
Yeah.
You'd want a Taiwanese agent, so you're 0011. Random number. I don't know if there's some weird reference there. I picked a random number. But, like, yeah, there are times that you're going to need a white guy or a black guy or an Asian because there are some places in the world where they don't see people of the other color, like, at all.
Yeah.
If you're going to Switzerland, the black guy would stand out a lot. That's just reality. He's walking around, hey, I'm what? No, who the hell are you? It's going to be your reaction. You send in blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. This makes sense. But speaking of making bad choices on stuff,
Captain America: Brave New World has the MCU's third biggest second weekend drop. Now, I will say, looking at this list, that doesn't necessarily mean a lot unless you didn't have a great first weekend.
some of these on this list are some of the best movies
you look at
out.
Spider-Man: Homecoming did really well.
But that's because everybody went to see Spider-Man: Homecoming, including me and my boys.
Multiverse of Madness.
Most people went to see it. So movies that have a really huge opening are going to logically have a huge drop-off because there's only so many people. So if most of your audience shows up day one, but it's bad when he's highlighted where it didn't really show up to see you day one.
Yeah.
And less people showed up.
We saw 88 million domestic opening. Currently, we're at 289 million worldwide. Which
how much do they think you need to break even?
Forbes actually does say that in this article. They say that they need 400 plus million to break even.
At a 63% drop off, that doesn't seem very likely.
I think they'll still hit 400 million. I mean, looking at it now, you got to understand, Disney movies tend to stay in the theater longer because they've made those deals with the theaters. They also tend to be on the main screens longer.
Yeah, but the unfortunate news is, barring exceptions like Black Panther, as much as I hate to acknowledge it, black-led movies don't do as well internationally. Yeah. I don't think it's going to pull a lot more because, unfortunately, there are a lot of countries. That's what's so weird.
But the thing is, the break
America,
even, they only need about
they only
need about 120 million more. And if they're in the theater for another 6 weeks, they can probably pull off another 120 million, I think.
Okay, what's your time frame? How long do you think it'll take it to hit them? Let's put it up. Y'all can follow us. I say they're not going to hit it in whatever time frame you come with the loss of
saying 6 weeks.
6 weeks pretty long. Dang it. I say let's make it 4. Do you think they can do it in 4?
No.
Oh, you're not confident enough to take that bet?
You say they're not going to hit it. I say they're going to hit it. That's all we got to.
I don't think they're going to hit it. Period. Like in theaters. I don't think they're going to hit it in theaters. Now, who knows when it gets to DVD or whatever. But I don't think they're
going to hit much over 400. But I do believe they'll hit 400.
I don't think they're going to hit 400. I'll stand by it. And the thing is, I want you to know, too, 400's not success. 400 is
pretty much breaking even.
You broke even, which to me is a massive failure. I'm never satisfied with breaking even unless something went horribly wrong and I'm now trying to break even where I'm like, oh no, a great catastrophe occurred, which is making this spiral out of control, and now I'm trying to break
breaking even is what you want when you fear failure.
Yeah, when you
broke even, thank God. You know,
yeah, it's I'm failing. Oh, at least I got my money back. I lost my time, my blood, sweat, and tears, and my energy, but I got my money back.
Well, no, you don't. I mean, breaking even, everybody got paid, including you. I mean,
yeah, but
that's
still,
breaking
I could have
even.
been doing something profitable. I know, dude. Okay, you're forgetting who you're talking to. The guy who hates to gamble. I even missed that time I spent on it. I'm a bitter person when it comes to losing money.
But they make money. The individuals make money. Now,
true.
For Disney as a whole,
it's a waste of their time.
It's a waste of their time and effort. But for all the individuals in it, they all got paid. They all got.
Oh, that's the other problem too. Yeah, because also this had a lot of reshoots. Like I remember Mackie getting pissed about having to keep coming back. It ate up a huge amount of his time. Only bigger waste of time was the Blade movie because they never even did it. They wasted years of that man's life. When you're a decade older,
man, I still haven't heard. Have they canceled that?
Dude, they have to. He's a decade older than when they started. He aged out of the damn role.
Has it been a decade? I don't think
I
it's been
think
a decade.
it's been a
No.
decade. I think they announced
No,
him
it's
in
been
that
like
movie
it's
10
been like
years ago.
it's been like 4 or 5 years. Let's see. I'm always positive it is. It's only been like 4 or 5 years.
I hope you're right because I'm tired of being right.
I know you're not right on this one. So.
It looks like you're right. They announced the Blade reboot in 2019.
Bam!
It's been 6 years.
Yeah.
Finally. No, it's good. About time. I'm tired of always being right.
You're rarely right. You just remember the few times that you are and forget the times you're wrong.
Oh, no, guys.
Come next Sunday.
It's terrible, everyone.
Come next
Zeno's
Sunday.
memories going first.
He won't think I'm. He'll be like, man, when was the last time you were right?
I'll be like February 23rd.
I remember. Yeah,
Like,
I'm sure.
I've got to remember them. They're so far apart.
The fact that we've had this conversation on Blade multiple times and you obviously keep forgetting. Because this isn't the first time we've had this conversation.
It feels longer, I'll admit it.
Anyways.
But even 6 years, and I don't even think they've recorded anything. It's a problem. Like, I don't even know if they're filming.
They filmed. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep anything they filmed. And
yeah,
you're right.
They're filming right now.
Even 6 years, depending on the actor. I mean, 6 years. We've seen stints where actors age really quickly.
Yes.
You know, you hold off that aging for so long, and then bam.
Especially in the upper years.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what I'll look like in 6 years. Like, you start to show it a lot faster when you get into, like, the 50s. And I think the actor is in his 50s or so, isn't he? Like, he's up there.
Yeah.
Or he may have, maybe that's what I'm thinking at. He may have turned 50 during this, like, extended stint. But I remember being shocked by his age. Like, he had got up there in age, and people were kind of going, like, Now, I could be wrong on that one, too, but I am just throwing it out. I just remember that he had gotten up quite a bit older. He had crossed, I think, one of the benchmarks. That's why I think I kept going, like, he crossed one of those age benchmarks where you normally aren't doing action movies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember his name? I'm assuming you were looking it up.
No, I was looking up something completely unrelated.
Okay. Like we lost him, fellas. Told you, see, his mind's going, everybody.
Well, no, I had the thing pop up earlier, and it was an image of me and you from 7 years ago at a con.
Mahershala.
And we were talking about aging over 6 years, and I was like, hey, I had that image of us from like 7 years ago that popped up, and I was like,
So
I was thinking of that.
Mahershala Ali. Let's see. Ooh, that is not easy to spell. Okay. Yeah, he's 51. So he crossed it. That's what I was remembering. He crossed into his 50s and is now 51, which is up there for an action movie. Like that does make me believe, especially that they may have been planning to phase Blade out or replace him with his daughter. Very likely, because you're not going to make a lot of Blade movies with a 51-year-old actor. With an average of 3 or 4 years sometimes in between movies, you're not. So, and I like Mahershala Ali. He's a cool guy, but, I mean, he's getting up there. Man's aging amazingly, though. Looks great. But you can't imagine he's got 10 years of Blade in him. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, that aging tends to catch up fast when you get, like, 60. And he that's what it was. He crossed into 50 during all of this. And I remember, because it was the art, we talked about it. It was Mahershala Ali is now 50 years old. That's why my man thought it was. I remember going, he went from 40s to 50s, is where I got the 10 from. But I remember he crossed into an age range where you're like, you may need to go grab somebody younger. And, you know,
now, I mean,
that's kind of where we are.
Deadpool said it, you know, there's only one Blade. The only Blade.
Well, I'm going to have an old Blade I'd rather have. And, I mean, and he's aged a little rough. He's a lot skinnier now. But still, it's Wesley effing Snipes, man.
Yeah.
You ain't AI in Wesley, you know what I'm saying? You ain't AI in his voice. Wesley Snipes. If I'm going to have an old Blade, I would rather have Wesley. Yeah, he's my boy.
And, I mean, he's only 12 years older than...
Yeah. And, hey, the way they're going, Mahershala Ali will be 62 by the time this comes out. So, You know what I mean? Like they're dragging their feet.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up there, man. Oh, wow. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to Dicejunkies.com where you find links everywhere online. Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can see whenever we post something online. And as every week,
We hope you enjoy.